Greetings, Heralds of the Titans and comrades. We now have even more footage for Godzilla x Kong the New Empire, including a full reveal of the Ice Titan Shimo, more history on the lore of the monsterverse, and big reveals that indicate that perhaps Shimo and Skar King are not the true villains of the monsterverse, and that something more sinister is lurking in the Hollow Earth that is going to be set up for a further film, as well as information on the Titan Scylla, and Godzilla's transformation into a pink form. So, my friends, let's go ahead and dive into this brand new footage. Before anything, I would like to talk about the dialogue, as in the background, it is revealed that the Titanus Kong became the protectors of humanity, while the Titans became the protectors of nature. And although this worked for some time in balance, it was said that a great evil arose to disrupt this. Although the trailer itself makes it look as if the Skar King is this great evil, we actually know, thanks to the Monsterverse lore, that there is another great evil that originated in the Hollow Earth, known as the Zlozlahawa, or what many believe to be this iteration's version of Space Godzilla. It was said that a Gojira actually ate a star, which has become a common term for a titan absorbing large amounts of energy. This star eventually drove this Gojira insane with power, similar power perhaps that Godzilla will be absorbing later in the film, and that it took the Titanus Kong and the remainder of the Titanus Gojira to unite in order to overthrow the Zlozlahawa, banishing him to a far corner of the Hollow Earth, but notably not killing him. Although again, it's possible that they'll be speaking of this great evil being the Skar King, who using a crystal is in control of the Ice Titan Shimo, a likely offshoot of the Gojira species. It is possible that they are setting up an even larger threat in the future, and an ancient Gojira far older than the Godzilla that we know. Moving on through the trailer, we get a good look at Godzilla's transformation, and how exactly he tunnels into the Hollow Earth and the source of energy, using his atomic breath. This was something very similar to what we saw in Godzilla vs. Kong, where we saw that Godzilla's atomic breath was able to tunnel directly to the Hollow Earth, one of the most underrated abilities of Godzilla, the King of the Titans. And a hint that if he was that powerful before, this pink energy that he's absorbing is only going to level him up further. The reason Godzilla has been absorbing energy is he hears an ancient call from the Hollow Earth, likely from Skar King and Shimo, threatening his rulership and threatening the future of Kong as well as an Alpha Titan. But what else is notable about this is Godzilla is not the only Titan in this film that is seeking out radiation and power. And now we get to Godzilla's battle with Scylla in Rome. According to Monarch, Scylla, who is named after a sea monster of the same name in Greek mythology, is categorized as a destroyer and a scavenger. It is said that Scylla actively seeks out sources of radiation, and it's very possible that Scylla in the Titan heard this call as well, and was attempting to fortify herself against the Hollow Earth threats, something that we know Godzilla will likely do later in the film. Something else notable about Scylla though is she appeared in King of the Monsters and actively bowed to Godzilla. However, it's clear here something has upset the balance, and Scylla has been known to test the limits of Godzilla's kingdom before, and has fought Godzilla on multiple occasions. However, this could mark the end of this Titan, as in the comics and novels after defeating her, Godzilla has allowed Scylla to retreat, but it's unclear if she's tested the limits of his kingdom too far now, and will ultimately destroy this Titan for her treachery. What's interesting though, is that Godzilla is not the only Titan moving on radiation currently, and although normally they do so in which to feed, we do not know if the calls of the Skar King and Shimo has anything to do with the Titans becoming more mobile, as of course Scylla was notably awoken by the Alpha call of Ghidorah, even though in the end she did bow to Godzilla. Notably here, we also get our longest look at the battle between Kong and the Skar King, who is the ruler of sections of the Hollow Earth now. What's compelling about how these Titans will fight is that Skar King appears to be far more mobile than Kong is, which ironically was Kong's greatest attribute against Godzilla. It also appears as if he's using the spinal cord of a war bat as a sort of weapon, with a crystal on the very top of it, which we've gotten several great looks at. Skar King is apparently using this crystal, which Shimo holds a similar connection to, and is using it to imprison and to force Shimo to do his bidding. As we get the full reveal of Shimo a little later in the trailer, we can see that a lot of these spinal cords are actually attached to the Ice Titan's neck, being very similar to the whip and likely the spinal cords of warbats. We know one of the greatest attributes of the Titanus Kong is their sheer intelligence and the ability to craft weaponry, as they are the only titans thus far that have shown that capability. Another thing many people are talking about is also the sheer size of Shimo, being roughly now twice the size that Godzilla is, and clearly nearly as tall as Ghidorah and much wider. Shimo is a titan that most notably fights on all fours. However, thanks to some promotional material, we do have hints that Shimo is capable of fighting on 2 limbs as well. Also notably, the same axe that was able to absorb Godzilla's atomic breath in the last film proves to be too much with Shimo's ice blast, and the axe itself is overwhelmed and Kong is severely injured. However, it's likely that if Kong did not have this axe, he may have perished against the Ice Titan. Something else notable is later in the trailer, during what appears to be the final surface world battle, we can see some electrical output from Kong's new gauntlet that he's been given by Monarch, likely a direct callback to the old Godzilla vs. Kong films, where Kong eventually developed a source of electrical powers that even the odds against Godzilla, although it's unlikely that the monsterverse will head in this direction. The sparks coming off of Kong's gauntlet and glove are a clear indicator that this may be an adaptation for this film. We then get more shots of Kong and Godzilla fighting the Skar King and Shimo respectively within the Hollow Earth, where it appears as if Kong's glove also has a sort of pulse attack. And what's becoming more and more obvious is that this glove clearly gives Kong an advantage over the Skar King. We also get a shot of Godzilla falling into the Hollow Earth itself, as he appears to break through some of Shimo's ice blast that is crystallized over. It's compelling that we'll get a surface world battle along with the Hollow Earth battle, and my biggest question right now is which one of these battles actually comes first. Do they originate in the surface world and find their way back to the Hollow Earth, or do they begin their fight in the Hollow Earth itself? And then finally at the end, we see that Godzilla has formed another symbiotic relationship with Kong, a very similar relationship that he has with Mothra. And it's clear that Godzilla and Kong, 2 alpha titans, are now working together much more easily than they did in Godzilla vs. Kong against Mechagodzilla. The biggest takeaways for this footage though is the sheer magnitude of Shimo and her power, as well as her mysterious origins. And another one of the larger questions is, what exactly is this evil that is spoken about in the dialogue? Could this be an indication that the Zlahawa will make an appearance at the end of this film? Or is this evil the Skar King? And the Skar King himself is an ancient titan who has controlled Shimo. All of these questions will hopefully be answered in just a few short weeks, but be sure to stay tuned on the channel as we'll break down all the upcoming new footage. Thank you so much as always for visiting the channel today, and what are your thoughts on this new trailer and the tons of new clips that we got? How is the Skar King controlling Shimo? And what are your thoughts on the sheer mass of how big Shimo truly is? Thank you so much as always for watching Heralds of the Titans, and have a great day.